Namaste. Welcome to the beginning of another live Saṅgha. I'm grateful to be here, and I trust you are feeling as well as you can be in this moment, despite whatever circumstances might be going on for you in your life at this time. Remember that if there are any difficulties, that this too shall pass, and you are always expressing something valid in your feelings, because it's an expression of what you are experiencing, both inside and out. May you find peace and relaxation here nonetheless, and I hope to be your humble host, and if I'm not, you can hold me accountable to that. And I welcome our first guests who are arriving now. Welcome, dear Blood, Emilio, Janice, and thank you, Nikki, for blessing our Saṅgha with a heart me. Harihi Om Tat Sat. I'd also love to begin by setting the intention for this space as being a welcoming environment, open to everyone, regardless of background, identity, orientation, belief system, ethnicity, etc. May we come together as fellow students of life to uplift each other, relate on one another's experiences, and share positive sentiments. Thank you, dear Lone Wolf, for the heart me you've sent to. Om Gang Ganapataye Namah. You thought you missed me? No, I'm just a little later today than when I went live yesterday. Hello, dear Angel Wings. Welcome, Dr. Rach. Hello, dear Lorem. Thank you, Roxy, for the heart me you sent to. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. I'm very happy to hear that for you, dear Roxy. You're putting in good effort. Thank you, dear Angel Wings, for your heart me too. Om Kring Kalikaye Namah. Speaking of Kali, today is a very important day for Kali. That happens every month or so. We are at the night before the new moon. So tomorrow there'll be a new moon. Tonight is known as Chaturdashi, which is the 14th day of the waning phase. The 14th day of the waxing phase is also called Chaturdashi. Because there's two phases, there's the Shukla Paksha, the bright phase, and the Krishna Paksha, the dark phase. We are in the Krishna Paksha Chaturdashi, which is the night before Amavasya. Lots of Sanskrit terms, but anyway, we are on the threshold of darkness. There's a little sliver of light remaining on the moon, and that sliver of light, the emancipation has almost come. We are so close. That feeling of being on the edge is what can be used for those that wish to channel Kali tonight, the Dark Mother, a form of the divine, which is very powerful. So we'll be ending our live stream with meditation for her tonight, for all you Selenophiles out there. Before I get too much into that, let me also begin with an invocation from the Taittiriya and Katha Upanishad. These are ancient scriptures. It's a Shanti mantra, a peace prayer in the ancient language of Sanskrit. It goes like this. Aum Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahai. Aum Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om. May the divine protect us both together. May the divine nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great haste. May our studies be vigorous and effective, and may we not mutually dispute or hate any. May there be peace in us. May there be peace in our environment, and may there be peace in the forces that act on us. And thank you, Dan Hao-yu, for your heart me. Om Kamalir Mahakalikaye Namah. I'm glad you love Kali, dear Emilio. Welcome, dear Nordic Space. Hello, dear Freya. Thank you, dear Angel Wings. We've only been live for a few minutes. 5 minutes, dear Nat. So you're very early. Welcome. Yeah. So I'm very grateful to be here. I already mentioned what we'll be doing at the end of the Saṅgha, the meditation. Before that, we'll begin our Saṅgha with another reading from the Radiant Sutras. This is a modern translation, interpretation, and commentary of the ancient Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. We'll continue from the 28th Yukti, which is one of the 112 gateways to the Yoga of Wonder and Delight. Then we'll have some Q&A. There won't be a show and tell today because there aren't any, but if you ever wanted to do something like that for our Saṅgha, you're welcome to check out the submission form in the link tree in the bio. There you can maybe share a picture that you took that you like, or a creative project that you're working on, or something that you've learned. I love to hold space for what you all have to offer in this world. Then we'll have a question of the day. Today's question of the day is about making haste. And that'll be it. So I hope that sounds exciting for you. You're welcome to come and go as you please. Thank you, dear Lone Wolf, for the garland headpiece that you sent. Ham Dum Durgaya Namah. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Nikki, for another rose. Radhe, Radhe. Without further ado, if I may, I shall read to you now from the Radiant Sutras, and then my attention shall fully return to the comment section, and we can explore whatever's in our hearts. I'll put a book cover up for those that are wondering what we're reading while we're reading. We continue with the 28th Yukti, one of the 112 gateways to the Yoga of Wonder and Delight. I'll chant the Sanskrit, read the English poetic interpretation, and then we'll pick out a single word from the Sanskrit and use that as a seed for the meditation practice that this contains. This is the 51st verse overall in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, and it's still Bhairava, a very fierce form of the Divine Masculine, speaking to his beloved Devi, the Divine Feminine. Yatha tatha yatra tatra dvadashante manakshipet pratikshanam kshina vrter vailakshanyam dinar bhavet. That was a good verse. This body is sustained by altars to the radiant nectar of life. Around you, an ocean of air, ready to become your breath. Above the head, the glow of an invisible sun. Within the spaciousness of the heart, a pulsing throb of creation, where the breaths meet, fuse, and transform into each other. Whenever, wherever your mind wanders, whatever you wonder, return to the luminous. Choose any altar. Throw your attention again and again into one of these centers where spirit and flesh consummate their love. Day by day, old whirlpools fade, the endless circles. You are living in the temple of essence. The word of the verse is kship, K-S-H-I-P, kship. And that SH sound is actually retroflex. You curl your tongue back to make it kship. It can mean to throw, cast, send, dispatch, to move hastily, the arms or legs, to throw a glance as the eye, to direct the thoughts upon, to throw away, cast away, get rid of, to even utter abusive words, insult, to throw into, to cause to descend into. Kship. The practice? Select one of the delight-filled centers in the body and learn to be centered there as you live your life. This yukti is a continuation of the previous one, the 27th one. First, you may want to explore your chosen center only during meditation, or even lovemaking, or dancing, or music. After a while, you may begin to feel at home in yourself and realize, oh, this is my residence, one of my many residences, and it's good to be here. After you stabilize in this perception, begin to explore being poised in that area as you move through your day. Practice being in yourself and centered while doing chores, working, talking, and loving people. Yukti means skillful, and if you do this yukti skillfully, you will function better and have more attention for the outer world, even though you are also attending to your inner delight. Kship is almost a physical skill and can be approached playfully, throwing your attention again and again into your body the way you would throw a baseball or football to a partner. Through practice, you develop elegance, grace, and effortlessness. When you are in a sweet relationship with your chakras, you can turn to your essence in a moment, then come back to the outer world without losing track of anything. You have more presence because you are continually refreshed in the stream of prana flowing through you. That is the 28th yukti. Abide in these altars of life in your body. Let's read another one, shall we? This is the 29th yukti and the 52nd verse overall in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Kalagnina kalapadad uthitena swakam puram Pulushtam vichintayedante shanta bhasastada bhavet. Live for a few days in the meditation. I am immersed in the flame of time, the flame of love, the flame of life. The universal fire flows through me. Step into that fire wholeheartedly, starting with the big toe, then surrendering everywhere. Only the not self, which doesn't exist anyway, burns away. Attend to this continually and awaken into tranquility. Your essence is renewed in the flame, for it is flame and knows itself as flame since the first heartbeat of creation. The word of the verse is Agni. Agni means fire. or specifically a sacrificial fire, of three kinds: Garhapatya, Ahavaniya, and Dakshina. Agni can also mean the number 3. Agni refers to the god of fire too. Also the fire of the stomach, the digestive faculty, even gastric fluid, bile. Agni can even mean gold. The practice? The yukti here is the relationship of the body and flame. It helps to know that biological life is fire. Our bodies burn at almost 100 degrees, night and day, even if the environment is cool. Each cell is a little flame, a tiny hearth cooking up the sustenance of life and transmuting the elements into energy. The process of transmutation is called fire. The sun is fire. Our bodies are fire. The sun shines on the oceans, forests, and farms, and the fiery sunshine is absorbed by the plants through the magic of photosynthesis. When we eat the plants or something that eats plants, we absorb this energy and turn it into heat and energy to move with in a continual dance. Get into this practice very gently, tiny step by tiny step. If you like candles, spend a few minutes appreciating one. If you like the warmth of the sun on your skin on a winter afternoon, cherish that. If you have access to a fireplace, make yourself cozy. Watch the flickers, listen to the crackles, and absorb the warmth. Over a period of months, become intimate with flame as it relates to your body. I took several months getting to know this sutra, phrase by phrase, then memorized the first paragraph. I am immersed in the flame as my mantra. I let the words and the images and sensations they invoked roll through me very slowly in meditation for half an hour, morning and evening. If you are called to practice this today, the flame of the soul is already here. It is a relief to snuggle up with it. This is a chance to rest, be at peace with, and be inspired by the flame of life. Oh, I like that one. Agni is the very first word of the Vedas. In the very first Rig Veda, the first book, the first sukta, the first hymn, it begins with Agni. Agni mirle purohitam yajnasya devam ritvijam hotaram ratnadhatamam. All the other 9 verses in the sukta also praise Agni, fire, for some aspect of divinity. That one that I chanted praises fire as the priest of a sacrifice, the one that delivers the message unto the heavens, the bestower of wealth. Just to name a few. Let's read one more yukti. This is the 30th and the 53rd verse overall in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Goes like this. Evam eva jagat sarvam dagdham dhyatva vikarpatah ananya chetasah pumsah pumbhavah paramo bhavet. It's very simple. Imagine the entire world consumed by flame. Stay steady. Do not waver. As fire transmutes form into light, the soul reveals itself to itself as radiance. It's beautiful. The word of the verse is Ananya Chetas. Ananyacetas. Ananya Chetas. It means giving one's undivided thoughts to. The practice? This is a flame meditation in which you recognize that the universe is made out of flame and always at play. If you are called to this meditation, you have a relationship with the sacred flame, and your awareness longs to merge with it. In Sanskrit, this merging is Ananya Chetas. Your intelligence, Chetas, is made of brilliance and revels in the universal fire. The self recognizes its own elemental nature. We don't usually experience this cosmic reality in our bodies. Our awareness is encrusted with accumulated worries about our place in the world. Thus, we develop a craving for radical freedom. In this meditation, you are not praying that everything be destroyed. You are releasing your awareness into the realm of pure splendor. You are releasing your awareness into the realm of pure splendor. I didn't mean to say that twice. I went back a line, but it's so nice you gotta say it twice. This is akin to meditating on being made up of molecules, atoms, and subatomic particles. It's intense, yet relaxing. Every particle of creation is a flame, a tiny sun. Everyone and everything is already one with God. 19th century Anglican minister John Henry Newman said, "Heaven and hell are the same place. It's just that in hell people resist the flame." It can be an extraordinary relief to sense that the universe is a flame. Get someone to explain a bit of astrophysics to you, so you can grasp that the matter in your body, all around you, everything you have ever touched or eaten, was once a part of a sun. Beautiful. I love those two verses for fire there. Yeah. It is no surprise that the ancients praised fire. I think there's still room in this modern age to do so. Before we end this reading, let me therefore chant that first sukta of the Rig Veda for fire in its entirety, in honor of that element within us, all around us, and that has forged us. Asya Shri Agni Mile Suktasya Madhuchanda Vaishwamitrarshi Agnir Devata Gayatri Chandaham Agni Mile Purohitam Yajnasya Devam Ritvijam Hotaram Ratnadhatamam Agni Purve Bhirshi Bhir Edionutana Ruta Sadevang Ehavakshati Agni Naraimashnavad Poshameva Dive Dive Yashasam Bhiravattamam Agneyam Yajnam Adhvaram Vishwataf Paribhurasi Sa Ideveshu Gacchati Agnirhota Kavikratu Satyaschitra Shravastamaha Devo Deve Bhiragamat Yadanga tvam agne bhadrang karishyasi tavetat satyamangiraham upatvagne dive dive doshavastardhiya vayam namo bharanta emasi Rajanta madhvaranam gopamritasya didivim Vardhamanam swedame sanafpiteva sunave agne supayano bhavam sachasvana swastaye Salutations to fire. Thank you for listening to that, and thank you for listening to another 3 yuktis from the Radiant Sutras. I hope at least one of you practices at least one of these yuktis at some point. Very transformative they are. And all of these recordings of these readings are put in dedicated playlists on my YouTube channel in case you're ever interested in catching up. I welcome everyone that joined while we were reading, and we can turn our attention to whatever's in our hearts and minds now that we transition from Shravana, the section dedicated to listening, to Manana, the section dedicated to Q&A. Thank you to those who sent a gift whilst we read as well. Dear Ursula, thank you for the heart me you sent. Bhram Bhairavaya Namo Namah. Dear John, thank you for the rose you sent. Namah Shivaya. Dear Laudomia, thank you for the rose you sent too. Hrim Namah Shakti Shivaya. Dearest Franklin, thank you for your heart me an ice cream cone. Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvanandakare Devi Narayani Namostute. Thank you, dear Dean, for the heart me you sent. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudhraya. Dear Usha Priyaji, thank you for your hanging lights. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyamedham Prajñam Prayacha Swaha. Thank you, Dr. H, for the 20 roses and 11 squirrels you send. Shri Bharam Hanumate Namah. Jose Francisco, thank you for your rose. Hanumate Rudratmakaya Hom Bhat Swaha. Unknowingness, thank you for your rosa. Shri Mahalakshmiyai Namah. And thank you, dear Isabella, for your trio of finger hearts. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you for your patience, everyone, as I thanked my generous donators whom are never expected to donate, nor is it ever necessary, but it is appreciated. I think I hear a lawnmower or some other weed whacker or something going off, so I'm just going to close the window. I'll be right back. I know that my microphone is very sensitive, so thank you for your patience with that. Thank you, Innesota, for your finger heart too. Namah Shivaya. Oh, I love the language of Sanskrit. Dear Amelia, welcome, dear Kim. Hello, dear God Ghost. What happened to our match of chess? Did I checkmate you? Yeah, I did checkmate you. I think you sent another challenge. I think I accepted it, but I'm not sure. And then I think I sent another challenge in return. So I'm not sure if we have 1 or 2 games going now. But yeah, good game. Thank you for playing. Great to see you too, dear John. And I love that as we were talking about candles, you're trying to light your candle. I love that. Welcome, dear Freya. Dear Lone Wolf, you've just read that there can be serious consequences for approaching Shakti the wrong way. Not from Shakti. No form of the divine is a punisher. Punishment is a human concept. Shakti as the divine feminine is the divine feminine. And so if you misunderstand the divine feminine, then you set yourself up for consequences as a result of your own actions. For example, if you believe that the divine feminine is there to please you, oh my goodness, you couldn't be more wrong. The divine feminine is not a servant. She is the master of this universe. She is the one that expresses the divinity of the source. We all should bow to her. So we must respect her very deeply. If we don't respect her, then we run into trouble because we're part of her, and so we're disrespecting our own part of the divine feminine. Oh, that's lovely. I think the person who's weed whacking is trimming our own lawn very selflessly, even though no one asked him to. That's very kind of him. Thank you, person out there. Thank you, Isabella, for another 6 finger hearts. Bhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Dear Mirks, you ask, am I a Hinduist? I'm not familiar with that term. If you're wondering if I'm a Hindu, I don't consider myself a Hindu. I don't consider myself anything in particular other than happy to be here. I love the language of Sanskrit. It is holy in Hinduism, but it's also holy in many other languages it's holy in many other traditions like Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism. They all use Sanskrit for certain liturgical purposes. Very beautiful ancestral language to so many. You broke your ankle today, shares Freya. I'm sorry to hear that. I pray for quick healing and that you may use this time to take care of your body, to understand its boundaries, needs, heighten your awareness in other ways. Let other people take care of you. How are your sharks? Will you have someone there to cover you, or will you still be able to take care of your sharks? Thank you, dear Zach, for your heart, me. Ham Jom Sa Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshya Mamritad. Dear Innesoda, you bought Tulasi tea and Tulasi powder to help with your anxiety. Oh, that is a wonderful use. I'm happy to hear that for you. I'd recommend offering the tea and powder to Krishna before using it, if it hasn't already been offered up as prasadam by your distributor. You want to know Kali, but you're scared, shares Lone Wolf. Why are you scared? She is scary, but not for the purpose of scaring her devotees. For the purpose of scaring everyone away from her devotees. The perks of having a scary mother that loves you is not to scare you, but to scare any threat to her children. You are protected by her fear, not opposed to it. Welcome, dear Andy. No one gave me Guru Mantra, at least not in this life, dear Judas. But anyone can chant Om Namah Shivaya. However, that can be a Guru Diksha mantra. Thank you, dear Jackie, for the quintet of tiny tinies that you sent. Yippee! Dearest Angel Wings, thank you for your paper crane. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Maha... Oh, I'm mixing up my Gayatri mantras again. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Dearest Isabella, thank you again for your trio of roses. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. We are chanting various Sanskrit mantras, dear Jenny. My hand is okay, dear PT Greek. This is a blister from carrying sandals the other day. It shall heal. Yeah. How long have I been studying Hinduism, asks Amelia. Formally, never, but just casually being interested in Eastern philosophy and spirituality in general. It's been several years of my life thus far. Yeah. Do I study any other spirituality or religion? Absolutely. I believe that all religions are one. All spirituality is one. To learn about one is to learn about the whole. And to learn about the whole helps you with any particular one. I have a lot of love for the religions of the world. There are such things as Guru Mantras. Om Namah Shivaya can be used as one. However, it can also simply be used as Nama Japa, because it doesn't have any specific bija other than the pranava, Om. In case you're wondering, who is allowed to chant Om Namah Shivaya? Everyone is allowed to chant Om Namah Shivaya. The simple Nama Japa mantras, like the ones that have Namaha, followed or preceded by a dative form like Shivaya, is perfectly allowed for anyone to chant, regardless of initiation. And not all forms of Hinduism even have initiation. It is common for many lineages to prefer that you become initiated. There are many lineages, there are many parts of the tapestry of the Sanatana Dharma that don't require initiation. Chanting Om Namah Shivaya is one of those things. Thank you, Isabella, for another heart me. And dear Banjo, thank you for your heart me too. Shailaputriyai Namah. So what's forbidden? Nothing is forbidden, but there are some warnings. Chanting bija mantras come with a warning. because correct pronunciation and intention when chanting is very important. If we chant a mantra in an imprecise way or carry a false intention in our heart, then that mantra can backfire. For example, if you are chanting a mantra for the sake of personal gain, that can backfire. You have to know the precise pronunciation and the precise intention and meaning in order to get the desired effects without any possible consequences. There are many people who say that if you chant it the wrong way or without initiation, then something very bad will happen to you. But this is not something that I subscribe to. I don't believe in negative forms of spirituality, where practicing something can actively be a detriment in your life. I think spirituality can either keep your life the same way or make it better, but you can never regress in your spirituality. As such, I'm not one of those people that will tell you to be afraid of chanting something the wrong way. You don't have to worry about that sort of thing, because in my experience, it is more about ensuring the sanctity of the sounds and the intention. And if you have a pure heart, it doesn't even matter if you chant it the wrong way, because what matters most is what's in your heart. Purify your heart, that's all that matters. Thank you, dear Zala. Hello, dear Jackie. I try to make sure every comment is addressed one by one. I'm 23, dear Amelia. Things have been going well. I'm happy to hear that, dear Cod Ghost. Astrology is welcome here. Of course, dear Miss Dubai. Everyone is welcome here. Yeah. And the proof that Om Namah Shivaya is allowed is because where it is found in the Yajurveda, in a recension of which that includes the Shri Rudram Namakam. And anyone can chant the Namakam. In fact, you're encouraged to chant the Namakam today on Chaturdashi, the 14th day in the lunar calendar. That is where the mantra was revealed, in the Shri Rudram Namakam of the Yajurveda, which is allowed to be chanted by everyone and even recommended to be chanted by everyone today on Chaturdashi. It's known as the Panchakshara mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. I'm glad that you love to learn about all religions, dear lovable eccentricity. Namaskaram, dear Miyananda. Dear Cod Ghost, you had asked, what mantras can overpower an antipsychotic? I don't know of any mantras that can counteract any medication. I will say that your medication can be like a mantra. If you are prescribed a medication and you are taking it, whatever you do, at least find a way to accept that which you do, you partake in. Because if you reject any part of your life, how can you truly be happy? Medication is for the purpose of taking care of our physiology, in this case our neurology. It has a very intense sounding name to it, an antipsychotic. I'm sure there's a more positive way of referring to that medication than what it's against. What is it for? Well, it's for having a certain sense of balance in your consensual reality. No medication can suppress your spiritual abilities. Be assured in that. Modern medicine and ancient spirituality, they're not enemies. They go hand in hand. Sometimes having this medication can even help your spirituality in other ways, as you find some ways of being calm in your own physiology and your own neurology. Hopefully, the medication is a temporary thing, and during this time that it allows you to find peace, that you deepen that peace in a more permanent way for whatever the rest of your life has in store for you. But what is a good mantra for a peaceful mind? Well, any mantra can be used for that. But a very simple practice is doing breath work combined with Om chanting. That you breathe into the count of 4, and then you hold your breath to the count of 4, and then you chant Om to the count of 8. That can be very relaxing and good for the mind. So what type of intention in personal gain for chanting mantras would have possible unintended side effects? When you're chanting for something selfish, and peace is not selfish, because peace is the greatest gift you can offer this world that is in so much need of peace, right? For heightening your virtues, your patience, your compassion, your love, your empathy. These are not selfish. But if you're chanting a mantra to gain anything materially, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. The divine is not going to reward that. Because we are here to be givers to this world, not recipients of it. We are caretakers. The only thing we have to gain from it is opportunity to serve. As long as you cultivate that intention, that the only thing you may increase in is aspects that can aid your service, aid your love, then that's the right intention. Dear Cod Ghost, you ask, what happens if one is too self-conscious to chant anything out loud? No problem. In fact, it's said that the quieter you chant something, the more potent it can be. It's said that chanting under your breath is 108 times more powerful than chanting out loud. And mental recitation is 108 times more powerful than chanting with your breath. The subtler the chanting, the more it resonates with the silence of your soul. Dear Hilariah, you share you've been on the spiritual path for quite some time, and you began looking into Buddhism yesterday, and you find it hard to understand the point of it, because you don't need a religion to be on an enlightened path. I'm happy to explore any parts that are available for higher understanding for you, dear Hilariah. Buddhism is a beautiful path. the concept of religion itself is very Western. In the East, I don't even think Buddhists consider themselves religious, nor do many Hindus or Jains or Sikhs. Those are the dharmic religions. They consider their path a dharma, a way of life, more than a systematic belief system. So you're absolutely right. You don't need a religion to be on an enlightened path. And in fact, that was part of what the Buddha's teachings was about. He rejected the religiosity of the time, famously so. All the ritualism of the karma kanda of the Vedic, the Brahmanical tradition in North India. Part of what it means to be a Buddhist is to understand that no form of ritual or systematic organization is necessary for enlightenment. It's much simpler than that. It's following the middle way, not in indulgence, not in austerity. Something that balances the two, having the right view, having the right thought, having the right speech. And you can have this regardless of what path you are on. Hello, Daniel. Hello, dear JMTS. Jumped. What do I think about witchcraft? We've got many witches here, and I love and respect them. Good evening, dear Monica. Dear Her Royal Highness Zeni, you ask, do I know any mantra that can elevate your connection to the ocean and its divinity? Absolutely. Om Namo Narayanaya. That is salutations to the divine that is at rest at the bottom of the ocean. Om Namo Narayanaya. That's very beautiful. Or there's just the bija mantra for water itself, for the element of the ocean. That is Vam. Vam. It's transliterated as V-A-M. But the V is actually more of a pure bilabial approximant. That you don't touch your tooth to your lip, but just your lips together, you round them off like a W. Wah. And you add breath to make it vibrate. Wah. 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 And then the M is actually an anuswara, an inner resonance. You don't even have to touch your lips to make that sound. You just bring the resonance into your nasal cavity. That is said to be the bija, the seed mantra for the element of water. Dear AJ, you ask, could I explain about what happens to the spirit when our physical form is destroyed? That's easy. Nothing happens. Everything happens to the body and to the mind, but spirit remains changeless, always, forever. Spirit is the witness. There's nothing that changes about that. But what you are witnessing does change. You will see a withdrawal of the elements and a withdrawal of your senses. Earth will collapse into water. Water will collapse into fire. Fire will collapse into air. Air will collapse into space. Space will collapse into your mind. Your mind will collapse into your intellect. Your intellect will collapse into your sense of self. Your sense of self will collapse into the space of your consciousness. And your consciousness remains the same because there's nothing for it to collapse into. It is the very foundation of your reality. And then, like a telescoping series, it will retract again from your consciousness, your sense of self, intellect, mind. From mind, space will emerge. From space, air. From air, fire. From fire, water. And from water, earth. The cycle of creation begins again. But spirit, that is the consciousness, will remain the same as it has always been. Hilariah, you share, if you're too self-conscious, should we be facing our fears to transmute them? Absolutely. You are welcome to explore chanting out loud. But don't underestimate the power of chanting softly, if that's a viable option. If you're fully allowed to chant out loud, you're in a space where it's welcomed, then enjoy the soundscape. You're welcome to include people in it too. Hey, would you like to chant with me? Or listen, can I chant for you even? That can create a bridge between the chanter and the listener. Thank you, dear Anazek, for the heart me you send. Brahmacharanyay Namah. Dear Kim, thank you for the feed chocolate. Chandraghantaya Namah. Dear Kelly James, thank you for your subscription. Kushmandaya Namah. Buddhism is a form of spirituality. Absolutely, Hilariah. Yes. Buddhism can help ground you when your mind feels shattered, very much so. The Buddha struggled greatly with his mind. So much of Buddhism is just an exploration of an unpeaceful mind and how to find peace in spite of it. Hello, dear Costas. Hello, Mariham. I love that, Hilariah. Dear Easy to Love, you ask, do you feel you need routine to steer in the right direction of enlightenment? That is very helpful. Very helpful indeed. Yes. I would be careful about using the word need. You are welcome to be a free spirit and just live every day according to your intuition. But routine can be very helpful, and I find it very helpful as well. Good question. And thank you, Cod Ghost, for your tiny. Yahoo! What a throwback of your username too. I remember playing that game back in the day. It wasn't my favorite of the series, but it was revolutionary in terms of the movement, the physics engine. Hello, dearest Ansuela Priya. Am I a medium? Asked JMTS. You're very curious. I've never tried. Yeah, I don't consider myself one. I think we all have the ability to do so. Thank you, Hilariah, for the dizzy bird. Skandamathare Namah. Hello, dear Wolfie. What's my opinion about telepathy? Shares Costas. Well, there are many forms of communication that take place beyond mere words. If you watch someone's face, that can tell you a lot about what's in their mind. If you look into their eyes as well. We should always be naturally skeptical of our own ability, because we don't want to assume what's happening in another person's mind. But we can pick up on cues and patterns. And two people that are very connected to each other, they may be so sensitive to each other's energetic fields that they practically are reading each other's minds all the time, even across vast distances. I think every mother here knows what it's like to know exactly what your child is thinking at times. I think you kind of have to develop that ability as a mother. Hello, Anasag. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Dear Soulfully Sarah, do I believe that the body compensates for where it uses its energy? I'm not sure I understand the question, dear Soulfully Sarah. If someone else understands that and can relay it another way, or if you could rephrase that, do I believe the body compensates for where it uses its energy? Yeah, for some reason it's just not clicking for me. I'm sorry. I'd be happy to explore this topic when it comes to our body, its energy and compensation. Thank you, dear Uramina, for your heart me. Katyayanyay Namaha. Hello, dear Jai. You're very welcome, dear AJ. Dean, you share, it's funny because self-consciousness sounds like it should be a good thing, right? On the spiritual path, it's all about understanding yourself, the self that is consciousness. So self-consciousness is Atma Vidya, knowledge of the self in Sanskrit. But yet we use it in a negative way, which is funny in English. That and selfishness. I mean, why is it a bad thing to be selfish, just grammatically speaking, about selfish? I mean, to be yourself, is that really a bad thing? And how is it selfless to do good unto others? Just grammatically speaking. Why are you without yourself when you're doing? Isn't it your higher self to do good for others? We should call that being selfish. And when we are misunderstanding who we are, and we're trying to feed the body and mind, gain power over others, we should truly call that being selfless, because we've truly lost our sense of self if that's what we're doing. It's funny. So many of our words are backwards. Hello, dear Mariki. What do I think about escapism, shares Cod Ghost? If we're trying to escape something, and that something is not truly something to be escaped, like this present moment, then we should seek another way to be with this moment in our relationship to it. How can we see this moment not as a collection of things that have gone wrong, not as a testament to our failures, to our weaknesses? How can we see this present moment for just what it is? A space full of opportunity that you get to choose how you want to express yourself in. Hello, dear Stefan. And hello, someone with a Cyrillic name. Jan Gurnik. Is that how I pronounce your name? I love the alphabet of Cyrillic. Dear God Ghost, you had asked, how does one overcome the selfish nature of being in a relationship? By seeing your relationship as a place to express love, more so than a place to receive love. Your relationship is a testament of what you have to offer, not what you have to extract from your significant other. If there's happiness, let that happiness be a shared expression rather than a shared extraction. It's not about getting anything out of the person. It's about giving yourself. Thank you, dear Tamia, for the heart me that you sent. Mahagauriyai Namah. What happened to my hand? Asks Stefan. It's a funny story. I went to go run to this garden, 40-minute walk from my house, but it closed in 40 minutes. So I ran there, but I had flip-flops on. And you know what it's like to try to run in flip-flops. You don't go very fast. So I just ran in my bare feet, and I was holding my flip-flops in my hand, and as I was running, I gave myself a blister. How many people in the world have given their hands blisters from their shoes? So it'll heal soon. Don't worry. So a rephrasing: neglected body compensates itself through making the world louder than the spirit. Okay, I think I'm gaining an impression of what the underlying question was. We do have to take care of our body. The body is not going to take care of itself. It does require us to exercise, to eat good, and similar things apply to our mind. But that shouldn't be seen as something that takes us away from our duties to serve others. Because remember that the body and the mind is an other. When we say that we are not the body, not the mind, and that means it's our responsibility if we let harm come to this body and this mind as if that harm came to any other body or mind, and we can do something about that. This happens to be the closest body and mind to us. We have a particular responsibility for it. It's a part of the world. Since we are servants of the whole world, we should be servants of this body, this mind too. But absolutely, there is a truth too that genuine, sincere, authentic goodness tends to be reflected back. Not always, and we can never expect it. But sometimes we'll be doing good with our body, with our mind, and good will come back to our bodies and our minds in the form of people offering to teach us how to maybe do a certain yoga series. We end up getting exercise that day from that service, or maybe someone will feed us, feed this body. It's true that through your goodwill you may receive benefit in return, but we can never expect that. We have a duty to take care of this body, this mind. I think I understand another way to interpret that. That when we don't take care of our bodies, the world becomes louder than the spirit. I see that. And it's an opportunity for us to connect with spirit when we have to withdraw from the rest of the world and center ourselves in care of this body, this mind. Dear Peace of Chelsea, you share when healing the chakras. I will add one small pointer before we finish this question. The chakras do not need to be healed. They can open, but that doesn't mean that they are ever harmed. A chakra cannot be damaged. Our bodies can be damaged. Our minds can be damaged. But the chakra system is always pristine. It's just how expressed they are or not in this life. How in touch you are with each chakra. I think that subtle shift is important because instead of seeing your chakras as wounded or broken or hurt, they're fine. They just might not be open, but it's like a flower that hasn't opened. Just because the flower isn't open doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the flower. Maybe the sun has yet to arise, and so too maybe the light of our awareness has yet to arise over the horizon of our self and open these flowers of our subtle body. But yes, must we go many places throughout time? You're welcome to go through the chakras in any order that feels natural to you. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a linear progression, up or down. In fact, it's very good to open some chakras simultaneously, like the heart and the root, or the heart and the third eye, for example. Thank you, dear Banjo, for your tiny. Yippee! Dear Cod Ghost, thank you for your quartet of squirrels. Siddhidatriyai Namah. Dear Kim, thank you for the feed chocolate. Hrim Hello, dear Dream Traveler. What's that, Raven? You've been talking about s'mores. Dear Jay, I'll get to the comment, I'm sure. Do I ever find myself at odds with the present moment? I know what that's like. Yeah. What's it like for me? Well, to be completely honest, I've been having a very blessed year. I've had such a change in my relationship to the present moment. I feel so blessed to be a part of it. That's relatively recent in my life. But if you go back, absolutely, especially during anxiety attacks. Actually, how about this? Just 2 nights ago, I had a very painful present moment. Out of nowhere, a migraine happened. Sometimes, I never get migraines. I actually used to when I drank many years ago as a teenager, but when I stopped drinking as an adult, I didn't get them. But I did get a migraine for the first time in years 2 nights ago. And I was hydrated, I had eaten well. I think it might have had to do with my sleep quality and the exercise I got that day. But anyway, regardless of the cause, I had a headache that just got worse and worse. And perhaps that's one of those moments where you could feel like this is not a moment that you want to be in. You know, when the pain gets so much that your body wants to throw up, that it's, you know, hard to see. Just because it's like, you know, blinding pain. That can be very challenging to stay present. But I tried not to get overwhelmed. I could feel myself get anxious at the amount of pain, and I ended up just chanting, and that really helped. Made myself a nice dark room. I chanted, and I had the nice vibrations of my cat with me. I ended up eventually taking Tylenol. I almost never take painkillers unless I really need to. So I took that, I took some magnesium, I made sure to get some electrolytes in me, and as I chanted in the darkness of my room, it got better. And I had the best night's sleep after that, I have to tell you. It was the best sleep. Nothing like a post-migraine sleep. That was good. I actually woke up earlier than normal, fully refreshed. I slept very deeply. And I'm actually grateful for that, because it gave me a moment to just be in my room in the dark, chanting. It made my task for that moment very simple. Just deep breathing, chant. Yeah. When you can look at things like that with gratitude, then even moments like that add to your life. I learned something more about myself, about my limits, about my practice. I got closer with my cat Shadow, and I had a great night's sleep after that. So even that turned out to be not so bad of a moment when I just let it unfold and do what needed to be done. Thank you, dear God Ghost, for your friendship necklace. Oh, you send a bunch of things, actually. An ice cream cone, a TikTok, a squirrel, a rose, a finger heart, a GG, a tiny, yippee, and a friendship necklace. Mithuraya Namah. Thank you, Emma, for the friendship necklace you had sent. Ravaye Namaha. And Kai, thank you for your quintet of finger hearts and a heart me. Sum Suryaya Namaha. Thank you, Anisak, for your 20 roses. Bhanave Namaha. And Kai, thank you for your finger heart. Pushne Namah. We've got lots of wonderful comments going through one by one. Hi, Marlon. Oh, that's okay. You're welcome to be here whenever you get here. Okay, so what is this about s'mores that Raven and Kim shares? Raven wants to be our marshmallow. It's a very interesting question. Well, you are both very sweet. I have a marshmallow and a chocolate and a pair of graham crackers, and that's my lover, G to infinity. I'm very satisfied with her sweetness. And she means the world to me. I could never intervene on that, but I graciously thank you for such a sweet question. Dear Costas, you ask, what's the connection between silence and desire to restore our inner peace? Inner peace is always there, nothing to restore about it other than our connection to it. When we have a desire to get something from this world, then we're assuming that we don't already have the greatest treasure within. That is our inner peace. Silence in this case refers to the quelling of that desire, or the distancing of yourself from it, creating that space from you and the mind, getting closer with that source of inner peace. Just as by assuming there's something for you to get in this world that separates you from your inner peace, just by serving others, that assumes you have inner peace. And it's the assumption itself that connects you to that. It's like you are a magic teapot. A magic teapot full of infinite peace. The only way you can be assured that it's infinite is to keep pouring from it and discover that it never runs out. But if you assume that this teapot that you are is empty, you're trying to fill this magic teapot with tea, with peace, you'll find yourself unable to, because it's already full. But you see it splashing out the top as if you're unable to fill it, as a sign that there's something wrong with your methods. You need to try harder. When in reality, you already are that magic teapot full of infinite peace. You just need to pour from it to know that it's truly infinite and see how it never runs out. Inner silence is a bit of a misnomer because the mind is always a yapper. The mind loves to yap. You can have a more healthy relationship with your mind, but even a healthy mind is always thinking. The difference is that there's space between you and your mind, and in that space you find yourself. In that silence you find yourself. But the mind's always going to be there. Thank you, Seaflow, for your heart meme. Hiranyagarbhaya Namah. Much love, dear Alexander. Our body will create chaos through illness if we don't take care of it. Yes, well said, dear Hilaria. Hello, the chosen angel warrior from Denmark. Nothing needs to be healed, just remembered. I love that, Alexander. Yeah. Thank you, dear P-Flomatics, for your squirrel. Marichaye Namah. You're very welcome, Peace of Chelsea. Hello, Spanglish. I don't consider myself a reincarnation of any sage, no. And why? Because I've had to learn a lot of lessons the hard way in this life. If I had already learned those lessons in a past life, my goodness, I must be a late bloomer in this life. How do you reach illumination? How do you reach it? You are that which illuminates. Brighten this world to see that for yourself. Just as the sun shines its light in all directions, it's only when it hits a planet like our world is that light truly seen. Everywhere else, space is dark. So too, when we shine our light on the world, by the smiles on people's faces, by the growth of your garden, by the happiness of your children, by the safety in your friendships, you'll know that there must be some invisible light source within you. illuminating this world. Thank you, dear Yana, for the heart me that you sent. Adityaya Namah. And for the popular vote and pair of team bracelets. Thank you. Thank you, Truth Seeker, for your heart me as well. Savitri Namah. Dr. H, you ask, do your chakras open through meditation? Yes. Meditating upon them is the way to open them. And a way to see that is very simple. Each chakra represents something, and your awareness naturally unfolds whatever you give it to. Your awareness itself. Chakras are part of your whole mind. Not the manas, not the space of thoughts, but it's part of your whole mind, your antakarana, part of your subtle body, your sukshma sharira. As such, every part of your sukshma sharira is a concept. Chakras are concepts, but that's not me underselling the value of chakras. That's me giving value to concepts themselves. Concepts are the living structure of your subconscious. Your subconscious is made of concepts. Concepts aren't merely illusory things. They are the fabric of your inner reality. You are made up of them in the inner world. We lose this body, but we retain the concepts. Chakras themselves are very subtle archetypal concepts that are associated with parts of the body. Just by bringing your awareness to what these concepts represent, you unfold them. You increase in your understanding of them. For example, the third eye is the concept of seeing spiritually rather than materially. It's symbolically associated between the two eyes to remind you that you are between the two eyes. You are that which sees beyond these fleshy spheres. You see in a different way. If you choose to, you can see everything not just merely as matter, but as spirit. You can recognize that spirit pervades everything, including our bodies, this whole world. So you meditate on that concept, seeing beyond the physical, seeing the divinity within everything, acknowledging the presence of God. You open your third eye, for example, and meditation is the perfect time to reflect on that. Absolutely. Thank you, Kim, for your pair of finger hearts and s'mores. Arukaya Namaha. Hello, dear Sasha. Hello, Kai. What you apologizing for, dear Satana? I appreciate you too, dear Jay. Dear Johnny Doe, you're wondering, what soap do I put in my hair? I think it's called Not Your Mother's. Which sounds like a diss, but that's actually the name of the brand. It's a joke from my mom, because I'd often use her shampoo in the shower. So, to be able to distinguish between mine and my mother, she bought me the brand called Not Your Mother's. And it works great, I think. Much love to you, Kai. Losing a grandmother is never an easy thing. I pray for your family and your ability to find peace in the celebration of her life. Thank you, dear Neon Jello Pack, for your heart me. Hare Krishna. Dear Ben, you're wondering if I'm familiar with Hawking's no-boundary proposal on the beginning of the universe. Well, that sounds very advanced. I am not familiar, although I feel like I have a guess on what it presumes about something. There are many parallels between black holes and our universe. For example, our universe seems to have the density of a black hole in terms of its energy distribution. It appears that at the beginning of time there was a singularity, not unlike the ones you find in black holes. Our universe behaves like a time-reversed black hole, a white hole. Black holes, white holes, they have boundaries. Event horizons, for example. If our universe is a white hole, perhaps it's a very special kind that doesn't actually have a boundary. No event horizon. Is that maybe... Or am I just correlating random parts of physics? It might take me a while to get to your answer, if you answer that, because I'm 41 messages behind the current. Let me try to go a little swiftly. We're whole now. Yes, we are, dear Emma. Looks like Ben shared a nice subject to research tonight. That's very true. Hello, dear Ranjit. Thank you, dear Stefan. Good night. What do I see for my future? Asks soulfully Sarah. Nothing, because it's not guaranteed. But this moment is, because it's here. And however this moment unfolds, I will be grateful for that. If we take care of this moment, the next moment takes care of itself. So Kad Ghost, you ask, do I feel as if the universe is finite or infinitely expansive? It can be both in different ways. For example, physicists, in the most common model today called the lambda CDM model. Lambda is meaning it's the constant they use in Einstein's field equations to denote the presence of dark energy. CDM stands for cold dark matter. So the lambda CDM model basically is the Big Bang theory. It's the most standard understanding that physicists have today. And the most fruitful theory in astrophysics ever. It is believed that we live in a finite, observable universe, but an infinite, unobservable universe. That if you could go beyond the horizon of our universe, there'd be no end. But still, we can only ever experience a finite portion of this universe. As our universe expands, we'll have less and less stuff within our observable universe because more things are expanding outside of the horizon of observability. In other words, what becomes unobserved becomes more and more infinite. And what becomes observed becomes more and more finite. Dear Dancing Aurora Borealis, you share when you listen to mantras you get a feathery feeling in the midst of your forehead. Is that common? I love that. I think that is a relatable experience to many. Yeah. Maybe a sign of your Ajna chakra. Thank you, dear B525, for the trio of roses and heart me that you sent. Bhaskarai Namah. Dear P-Flomatics, thank you for your heart me. Pair of tiny bunnies. Yippee. And your pair of roses. Kameshwaryai Namah. Thank you for your subscription, dear Marcy. Bhagamalanyai Namah. And the gingerbread lady, thank you for your pair of roses. Nitya Klinayai Namah. That's beautiful, Tela. One can only be truly free if we're not afraid to lose our minds. I like that. Thank you, Kai. Such wisdom being shared in the chat. I'm grateful for that. Welcome, dear Sassy Soul. Dear Dean, you ask, do I think humans will cure aging as if it is a disease? Well, many diseases do come with age, but we don't have to see the process of life and death as a disease. For example, the yogis, although they choose to prolong their life, they also know when it's time to pass from this body to another, and they go gracefully before the body takes up too many diseases. It's very rare for someone to take that path out today. Most people run this body into the ground. But in the ancient world, it was not so uncommon for someone to consciously choose the time of their departure before their body took so much of a toll. I think absolutely it is possible for us to increase our life expectancy. And I remember seeing a National Geographic magazine when I was a child that had a picture of a baby. And the title was, "This child will live to be 120. How prophetic it will be or not, we will find out. That's a big expectation for that child. But it's true that our life expectancy in the West seems to be getting higher and higher in modern times. And that's wonderful. It's said in ancient astrological scripture that the human life expectancy is 120 years old if you abide by astrological injunctions. If you take the least common multiple of certain astrological cycles, it totals to 120 years. And according to this perspective, that is the destined lifespan of a human being, plus or minus some, according to their karmas. But in general, I think higher life expectancy does not always correlate with a happy life. There are plenty of people who die young but are happy. And there are plenty of people that are old and miserable. There are plenty of people who are healthy and unhappy. And there are plenty of people who are unhealthy but happy. So, what is to be preferred in this life? Is it age? Is it health? Or is it happiness regardless of our age, regardless of our health? That doesn't mean we can't value all three simultaneously, and many more things too. Just some food for thought. Thank you, Diane, for your rose. Bhairundaya Namah. Dear Piece of Chouse, you just had an insight you're wondering about. When visiting the past self through chakra work, if you offer other people present forgiveness, does that healing also pass to them? the version you have of them does heal from that. The version you have of them in your mind. If they are open to growing into the space that you provide for them in the version you have of them, then you open the door for them to become like that. And if that includes a healed version of them, if they choose to be open to that, they shall be healed also. If they choose not to grow into that space, they may not heal, because healing is a personal journey, and it's a personal choice to be receptive to that abundance. So if these people are receptive to your love, your wishes for healing, absolutely, they may take you up on that, even without knowing, just because of the energetic space you offer. If, however, they are closed off from you still to this day, it is unlikely that they will, because that's their free will. But maybe you open up the door for them to walk through whenever they have the time to do so. And what a beautiful thought experiment that is, dear piece of Chels. I love that. And it's a very good practice to bring healing to the version of everyone within our minds. Indeed. Namo Buddhaya, dear Kai. But I love that. What a great question, dear Chels. Ben, you ask, did I hear about the idea that the laws of physics evolved in the early universe? I've not heard of that, but to be honest, I've thought about that idea, so that's a great affirmation. I wondered about that. I wondered if the laws of physics have evolved over time. You bought some incense today, lovely, dear Chloe. Welcome, dear Killer Ramen. Dear Sacred Keys Meditations, you ask, what if the earliest, tiniest particle has always been a Merkaba, hence attract and expand? That's beautiful. I love that idea. I think you'll have a good audio experience wearing headphones in this live stream. John, you've been doing meditation for years and still yet to find that complete nothingness and pitch blackness. What if you are that complete nothingness? But complete nothingness wasn't truly black, wasn't truly silent. It was devoid of everything unto itself, so paradoxically that everything you see around you is nothingness. The sun is made up of nothingness. The moon is made up of nothingness. The sky is made up of nothingness. The earth is made up of nothingness. That everything and nothing are not opposites, but equals. I'm 23, dear Mark. Hello, dear Diane. Dear Annie, you ask, what do I think is a thing everyone should hear once you learn from Siddhartha? Siddhartha Gautama, the most recent Buddha, one of my favorite quotes from him. He spent so many years in severe tapas, penance, austerity. He destroyed his body. He traumatized his own mind. He gained a following of people that revered him just for that, regardless of the enlightenment that he had, which at that point was none other than the aspiration. People just followed him because this crazy guy eats almost nothing, doesn't sleep, punishes his body like no other. He's a true yogi. He disappointed his following because when he finally did reach enlightenment, so it is said, under the Bodhi tree, the very first thing he said was completely anticlimactic. They were waiting for some cosmic revelation that would blow their minds, but all the Buddha said was, let's eat. They thought, did I hear that correctly? This guy who's been practicing severe penances, he's finally lost it. He's given up. He said, let's eat? No, we've been purposely starving ourselves for the attainment of enlightenment. What they didn't realize was that is one of the wisest things that could have been said in that moment, if not the wisest. Let's stop punishing ourselves. I understand it now. We don't have to do this to our bodies. For God's sake, let's eat. The time for fasting is over. Ironic, because I'm actually fasting today for Chaturdashi. But not out of severe penance, just for fun. Because I want to. So I love that. Let's eat. Anyway, I'll be eating tomorrow, but... Thank you, Shelly Belly, for your ice cream cone. Vahnivasinyai Namah. Hello, Miss Charm. Hello, dear HD. Welcome. Hello, dear Sarema Viking. What do I think about Atlantis? Asks Hilaraya. Oh, there's a metaphor there. What is the city? What is that city of jewels that has been covered by the waters of the deep? Did you know the name for the solar plexus chakra is Manipura, which means the city of jewels, which is one of the names for Atlantis? Literally, one of the names for Atlantis is one of the chakras in your body. And the element that's below it is the element of water. In the sacral chakra, which is just below the Swadhisthana, its element is water. So we have water in the chakra system, just below one of the names for Atlantis. There's a metaphor here. Our sacral chakra, what is it associated with? Chicka chicka bang bang. Associated with intimacy. When the waters quench the fire of the solar plexus, the Manipura, the city of jewels, it means that we have lost our individuality for the pursuit of sex. That's the story of Atlantis. When we drown our individuality, our Manipura, in the pursuit of sexual desire, then Atlantis becomes lost. The sacred city full of wisdom, prosperity, art, wealth, it becomes drowned underneath the ocean of this current of I need that physical union. To be fair, the sacral chakra exists for a reason. Sexuality is sacred, but if we don't treat it as sacred, then we drown Atlantis. And we come kicked out of that city, the Manipura. To understand that we have all come from sex. our life, literally, all comes from it. It's just not going all towards it. We come from it, but not 100% of our energy should be directed for it. Then Atlantis becomes lifted out of the ocean of the sacral chakra. The energies rise, and the light of your individualness, your individuality, your personal aspect of spirit becomes inflamed again. Thank you, dear Shelly Belly, for your ice cream cone. Vajoreshwaryaye Namah. Hello, dear Amanda. Hello, Giovanni. Welcome, Brave the Hobbit. Alright, Ben. I finally made my way back to your reply. The book claims the beginning of the universe is quantum, full of potential universe histories and law of physics. I like that. Yeah? That resonates. No, I don't have any experience with that, dear Rosie. Thank you, dear Emilio. Some people here need to touch some grass. My goodness. It's not about who is speaking. It's about the words. Don't confuse the personality for the individuality. I'm very flattered, though. Dear Olivia, you ask, what zodiac sign am I? I actually don't have one, which is funny. Most people don't know. Modern Western astrology comes from a much more in-depth form of astrology. It's been simplified over time. So much of it comes from Vedic astrology, from the Vedas. Jyotisha, it's called in Sanskrit. And there's times where you don't get a zodiac. I'm actually one of those really rare people that were born at a specific place and time where the sun does not imprint on the soul. We all have a sun sign, a moon sign, and a rising as our big three. Right? Well, not everyone. I only have a big two. I have a moon and I have a rising, but I have no sun sign. That's because I was born on Purnima of Adhika Masa, the full moon of the lunar leap month. During that time, instead of the sun imprinting in that slot of the big three, the moon has a doubling. So what the sun would have imprinted on, the moon takes its place. So I have two moon signs, but no sun sign, which means since the horoscopes are based on the sun sign, I don't have a horoscope. My days are entirely determined by the other celestial phenomena, which are much more subtle. That is a blessing for me, because I feel like I get to decide my own fate a little more with that, and I'm much more connected to the moon in that way, which is a blessing. I feel very drawn to the moon. So I hope that answers your question in the absence of an answer. What do we usually talk about on these lives, asks Cherry? We talk about many things, and it's determined by you. I have nothing of my own agenda. Whatever you guys want to talk about, you're welcome to talk about. But in general, it's a spiritual space. The atom is made of nothingness. Absolutely, dear Costas. Pure vacuum energy. I love that piece of Chelsea. You ask if enlightenment is a gift, not a reward. How is one chosen? Do we bestow it upon ourselves? Consider this universe as a service distribution system or a love distribution system. The universe has given everything in this moment to you, knowing that it's precisely what you need to amp up your love to the next level. Everything around you can be used to increase your love, to share it with some other aspect of this universe. When enlightenment becomes the next thing that will increase your ability to love, then it's gifted to you and you might not even notice. Because when you're ready for enlightenment to be the next thing to help you love, you are presumably at such a state where you are not even cognizant of your own peace. You are fully dedicated to the peace that exists within everybody else. Until someone asks you, how long have you been so peaceful? And then you go, wait a second. How long have I been this peaceful? I don't remember. When you strive for bhakti as something higher than mukti, loving devotion to the divinity within everything, then enlightenment is indeed a byproduct, no longer the main goal. Because if you make it the main goal, that is one of the selfish desires that prevents you from being enlightened. So you truly have to give up your own need for enlightenment and strive first and foremost for the well-being of others. Then when the universe determines that enlightenment will help you serve others, then you become even more equipped in that enlightenment to serve others. You got a great memory for mantras, dear Andy. I love that. Om Jam Jambhabhide Namah. Thank you, Renvox, for the squirrel you sent. Shiva Dutyai Namah. Dear Kim, thank you for your quintet of roses. Twaritayai Namah. So it did not actually exist, asks Hilaraya. Absolutely it exists. It just exists in such a powerful state that it's beyond physical. Your inner world is not something that's When we say it's a part of your inner world, we are elevating it to a status even beyond material existence. To say that Atlantis doesn't exist physically is to glorify Atlantis as something even higher than the physical. Part of your inner world. There is an inner city there called the Manipura. It exists just within you. And the closer you get to the source of your existence, the more of existence is within everything. There is a spectrum of the gross to the subtle, outward to inward. The more outward, the less existent. The more inward, the more existent. In other words, it exists more than anything could physically. Thank you, piece of Joust, for your finger heart. Nityaya Namah. Who am I, asks Phoenix Moon. It's a question I ask myself every day. What's my moon sign? In Vedic, it's the equivalent of Pisces, dear Heidi. You have a Bharani moon. Can you remind me what the equivalent of that is? I love learning the Sanskrit. What is that the Sanskrit of, dearest Heidi? Glad you love the moon, dear Sassy. Krishnamurti was a very interesting person. There's actually two different contemporaries also named Krishnamurti. There's J.D. Krishnamurti and then there's U.G. Krishnamurti. They're both very fascinating people. You're very welcome, dear piece of Chalice. Dear Giselle, you ask, how can you stay peaceful when you have anxiety or health problems? See anxiety or health problems not something that's happening to you, but something that's happening to your body and your mind. And you are someone that can help that. There is a cry for help in your body or your mind, and you are here to answer that call. When someone else is in danger, that doesn't mean you are. Just because someone else is hurt doesn't mean that you have to be in pain. And attending to that call is a wonderful thing to do. If you are in assistance of someone who needs help, that makes you feel good by making them feel better. Have that same kind of relationship with your body, your mind. You are not the body, you are not the mind. But when they need your help, be happy to help. My mind has anxiety. Not to worry, I am here. What can I do, O mind, to help quell your fears? It would be my honor to ensure that this mind feels better. When your body is in pain, show up like Batman or Superman. It is I. Not a bird, not a plane, but consciousness. How can I assist you, my lovely body? You assist me in so many ways, being an instrument that allows me to connect to this world. How can I help you, my dear body? So your peace isn't an absence of anxiety or health problems. Your peace is the source of healing for your anxiety or health problems. Thank you, dear Andra. Thank you, Michael, for the rose you sent. Nila Patakinyai Namah. In the beginning, I love that vine. Or is it a vine? Is it that old? It's a good meme. Anyway. I'm so grateful to be a part of Mother Earth. What a blessing she is. Hello, Jigzi May. Dear Melomedia, welcome. You share you lost your cat today and you're completely shattered. Did she run away? Well, I say she. I don't mean to assume the gender of your cat. Did they run away? Is that kind of lost? Or did they return their body back to Mother Earth? Either way, you are missing them. Pets are family. And when we are missing family, that grief is so valid. I feel you. I've come to love and lose many cats in my life. Well, I say many. Really just a few. But they'll always be a part of you. I still think about my cats regularly. They visit me in dreams. I'm grateful for their presence in my life. Is a she. She passed away. You had to put her down. You didn't put her down. You lifted her up and out of this body to answer the call that she knew she had to somewhere else in this universe, to thank Mother Earth for this loan of her form and have it return back to soil one day. Many best wishes to you, dear Melomedia. Yes, I am, dear Melissa. And thank you, dear Nasoda, for your friendship necklace. Ham Kula Sundariyai Namah. Marcy, you ask, what do I think about removing the belly button? That's an interesting idea. I've never thought about that. My belly button is my connection to my mother, and I'm very happy to have it. I know not everyone is as blessed to have a mother like mine. Even if your mother hasn't been, well, a mother, I think at the very least we can honor that she gave us this body and have the belly button there. But your body is truly your choice what to do with, no one else's, not even your mother's. She has given you this body for you to choose what to do with it. And I trust your judgment. Dear Peace of Chelsea, you ask, will the soul's purpose unfold or reveal itself? Absolutely. Without active seeking. No, that makes the question more complicated. The seeker is the sought. Your purpose is to seek, but not to find. There's nothing to find, but everything to look for. I love that, Grace. I don't know who that is, but I'm glad that your cat loves you, and your other comment. You're a wreck right now, shares Melomedia. You're absolutely allowed to be a wreck. You can be a mess. You're allowed to feel like your world has collapsed from the losing of someone so close to you. It is always a blessing in disguise, grief, because it is the receipt of the love that we shared. and your life is better with that love, and it will always be with you. Dear George, you share you're working actively daily to slowly improve function on your right hand after a recent trauma. I'm happy to hear that, George. It's incredible what this body can go through and still heal from. I believe in your healing journey. Thank you, dear Bubbles. What would you call this color of my shirt? It's like a very light green, a light pale green. I'm always impressed by those who have such a vocabulary with all sorts of different shades and hues and saturations of colors. Much love, dear Terra Star. Silver sage green. I like that. Yeah, it does kind of look like sage. Pale green. You might almost call it a blue moss. I see that. Yeah, I've seen lichen, that color. And I'm liking it. Sage green. You're welcome, dear George. You're also surprised how well this body can heal with the help of other humans. Two bodies are better than one. Indeed. Can I say magenta? Chartreuse. I can say those, but I'm not sure how reflective those colors are for my shirt. Thank you, dear Oren, for the heart me that you sent. Vijayaya Namah. Dear George, thank you for your heart me. Sarva Mangalaya Namah. Alright, we've been having a wonderful live stream thus far. I'd like to begin closing our live stream, but there's two things I'd like to do with you first. A meditation, but not before I ask my question of the day tonight. Today's question is probably a difficult question, because I wouldn't exactly know how to answer this question. It's just the one that came to me today. It's, when is the time for great haste? When is the time for great haste? And for those that would like the definition of haste, it means speed, rapidity, fastness. When is it the time to do things quickly? When is it time to engage yourself hastily? When is it time to be hasted? When you're not prepared. Shares motivational greatness. Always and never, shares Abel. When you're late for a tea party, shares Amelia. EMT, fire time, I see emergencies. I remember an EMT taught me to go slow in emergencies, because slow is smooth and smooth is fast. G, you share the time for great haste is when you fear something and you want to get away from it. I see that. Thank you for a proper definition, Abel. Haste is a noun, which means excessive speed or urgency of movement or action. Hurry. I like your answer, Rafen. Haste is never appropriate. In the army, you were always told slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Hey, EMTs and army members alike. Or when you share a great time for haste, or a time for great haste, is when you must hastily slow down to take in the wonder of the world. Another brilliant answer. I like that. Tom, you share when you're trying to better your running PB. I like that. Yeah. You can't expect to run faster by going slower. Yeah. Well, oh, here's the tortoise and the hare argument coming up. Unless you're running long distance. Emergencies, shares Angel. When someone is asking for help, shares Zime. I like that. When the slurry tanker makes a different noise, shares Zach. That's funny. Thank you, Moonflower, for your heart me and 14 squirrels. Your Chaturdashi squirrels. Jwala Malinyai Namah. Dear Tom, thank you for your heart me and septet of roses. Som Somaya Namah. Health emergencies, shares Angel. Pixar, you share ideally never, but in reality it's sporadic. Very true. Bubbles, you share the time for that will be spontaneous and without thought or hesitation. The act will be done without consideration. Well answered. I think we don't have to read any more answers. Why are we even answering this question then? Just kidding. But not about the good answer. That is a great answer. And thank you, Anasek, for your friendship necklace. Sarvaya Namah. When playing Sonic the Hedgehog, I like that lovable eccentricity. During a robbery, shares Emilio. Very true. Yeah. Before temporal existence, shares Marcy. Shares some great spirit of the ancient void speaking through Marcy. Greetings, dear Linda-Lou. When you have a love in your heart, I like that, Costas. Dean, you're not sure, but perhaps during a lifetime you are blessed with the ability to gain more good virtue. I see that. Slowing down after the loss of someone special. Well said, dear Tiki One. Maybe a strategic situation in playing a game. I like that, Hairspray Betty. Yeah, lots of games require haste. If you want to win. Thank you for your likes, dear Linda Lowe. Beautiful answers, everyone. Thank you for exploring this question of the day with me. I thought I honestly wasn't going to get that many answers because it's a pretty vague question. But you have answered so specifically in many ways. I love that. How about me? When is it the time to make haste? It is time to make haste. When a door is closing on you, and you never know if this is going to be your only opportunity. Like Indiana Jones. The door coming down. Roll under it. Dive under it. Grab your hat while you're at it. When I ran to the park, you made haste. That's right. Lovable eccentricity. You got a great memory. Described as imminence. That's a great word. I like that. Imminence. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Dear Della Love, you share you've been feeling really down and depressed lately. Do I have any advice? Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling at this moment. It will change. But not if you feel like you're supposed to be anyone other than who you are right now. When we say everything is meant to be, even these low moments. And the ironic thing is, the more you allow yourself to be low, the higher you get. The more you allow yourself to be sad, the happier you get. That's because happiness doesn't have to come in absence of any emotion. It is the expression of acceptance of any emotion. Many wishes for you, dear Della love. Sit with that. It's a good thing to do. Or go for a walk. Now I have a meditation plan for the end of this live stream, as always, if you're interested in participating. We've reached the end of our Saṅgha. We have a very delectable mantra for the end of our Saṅgha tonight. It's just pure bijas, the pure seed sounds. They are for Kali. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Let me set it up for you. Tonight, at the time of recording, is Chaturdashi, the 14th night in the lunar calendar of the Krishna Paksha, the waning phase. At this liminal night, before the new moon, when darkness becomes whole, that sliver of light becomes full of energy in anticipation for surrender. That impulse before Kali awakens is truly Kali herself, the Dark Mother. So this night is said to be dedicated to her. You can choose to fast on these days if you want. I am doing so out of a voluntary want rather than compulsion or vow. In honor of the Divine Feminine, we'll be chanting a Panchakshara Bija mantra for her. Bijas are seed sounds like these ones. I've included 3 different scripts. There's the most ancient Brahmi script from 2,300 years ago. It eventually evolved into the script you see below it, the Devanagari script. Both of those words mean divine. And here we have a transliteration in the International Alphabet of Sanskrit Transliteration, which uses Latin letters with some diacritics. The diacritics that you see just tell us that it's a little different than what that Latin character would normally represent. For example, the O in Om, the E in many of these sounds like krl, and the U in hum. These are all long vowels in terms of literal duration. Takes a long time to say them. The M with a dot below it and above it are known as the Anuswara and Anunaisika respectively, or Anunasika, I think. These are nasal sounds, inner resonances. You'll find them at the end of almost every bija, except for, in this case, the final bija, Pat. You make that sound by bringing your sound's resonance to vibrate in your nasal cavity. Finally, in the last bija, Pat. The PH is not an F, nor is it a P, but it's a breathy sound. It's like if you put a P and an F together. Pa, 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 pa. Finally, the dot underneath that final T indicates that it's something different too. It's a retroflex sound, meaning you curl your tongue back in order to pronounce it. So actually the bottom of your tongue hits the hard palate. Pat. Altogether, the bijas are Krim Hrom Hrim Hom Pat. Pure sacred sounds that don't translate into anything, but they do have lots of meaning, and to be honest, more meaning than I could ever describe, and even the duration that we'll be chanting it 108 times together. Just feel the sounds themselves. Krim Hrom Hrim Hom Pat. To count out 108 repetitions, we'll use the yogic technology of prayer beads, a rosary, a mala. You're welcome to chant with me. I'll try to be consistent, or you can just listen. Krim Hrom Hrim Hom Pat. 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 Krim Hom Hrim Hom Pat. Krim Hrom Hrim Hom Pat. Krim Hrom Hrim Krim Hrum Hrim Hom Phat. Ham Krim Hrum Hrim Hom Phat. Ham Krim Hrum Hrim Hrum Phat. Ham Krim Hrum Hrim Hom 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 Phat. Ham Krim Hum Krim Hom Phat. Ham Krim Hrum Hrim 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 Hrum Phat. Ham Krim Hrum Hrim Hom 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 Phat. Ham Krim Hrum Hrim Om Bhat. Am Krim Hrum Hrim Hom Bhat. Am Krim Hrum Hrim Bhat. Am Krim Hrum Hrim Hom Bhat. Am Krim Hrum Hrim Hom Bhat. Am Krim Hrum Hrim Krim Hom Bhat. Am Krim Hrum Hrim 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 Hom Bhat. 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 Salutations to Kali, the Dark Mother. May we rest in the reverberations of these bijas, which were difficult to do, and that you may forgive me for my inconsistencies. Breathe. Thank you for chanting or meditating along with us. Happy Chaturdashi. That concludes our live stream. So thank you very much for participating together. Thank you, dear John, for sending your love. Thank you, dear Yin, for the heartbeat, the finger heart and the rose that you send. Sadhyo jatam prapadyami sadhyo jataya vai namo namah bhave bhave nati bhave bhavaswamam bhavodbhavaya namah. Good vibrations. I did miss one home, dear Samo. I'm impressed that you caught that. Yes, we'll do one more for posterity. Amen. 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 Thank you to my lovely moderators for helping keep the peace. Thank you, everyone. May this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you. Masato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma mritangamaya. Shanti shanti shanti. Hari Tat Sat. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to the light, from death to deathlessness. May there be peace in us. May there be peace in our environment. May there be peace in the forces that act on us. Shout out to the lovely G to Infinity, whom I revere as a form of Kali herself. May nothing ever stop you. May you all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.